With the new 2023 Honda CR-V, the company had a big task on its hands in improving a vehicle that has already stood as Motor Trend's top-ranked compact crossover. Not only does the previous version top our rankings, but the Honda CR-V also has pulled off an impressively rare feat by virtue of being a two-time winner of our SUV of the Year contest. We've previously detailed all the changes to the 2023 Honda CR-V, head here if you need a quick refresher. Briefly, though, it received a more striking exterior design and an interior similar to those of the newest HR-V and Civic. You instantly notice the now familiar honeycomb mesh air vents across the dash, with accent trim beneath it that differs from its lineup mates. Conversely, the HVAC controls appear identical. Honda says the 2023 CR-V's armrest has 9.0 liters of capacity, the most in this vehicle segment. Rear passengers gain 0.6 inch of legroom, and the rear seat backs offer 8 adjustable angles so those passengers can find a comfortable position. Honda also created a little more cargo space in the back, now 36.3 cubic feet behind the second row and 76.5 cubic feet when those seats are folded down. Non-hybrid models also feature an adjustable cargo floor. Honda hasn't held a full-fledged drive program for the 2023 CR-V yet, but we're talking maybe 30 minutes here, sampled an XL all-wheel drive model, and our initial impressions are a bit mixed. The slightly larger size of the new model can make you forget this is technically a compact SUV. It rides on a 1.6-inch longer wheelbase, and it's 2.7 inches longer overall, with minor increases in width and height. Thanks to Honda's global architecture, which also underpins the latest Civic and HR-V, Honda says the body structure is 15% stiffer in torsion, which allows for suspension tuning targeted at better ride comfort and steering responsiveness. The result was evident almost immediately in that regard. We generally liked the steering right off the bat, as it delivers a fair amount of weight rather than feeling overboosted, although we'd like it more if it provided some additional feel. It's not overly quick on center, but it's nicely responsive for this type of vehicle. Indeed, the driving experience makes it obvious the SUV shares its architecture with the Civic and HR-V, and that's a good thing. The seats are supportive and, along with nice overall suspension tuning and damping, make for a comfortable ride that for the most part avoids feeling floaty. The roads we drove on limited us to 50 miles per hour or below, however. The setup keeps the chassis from exhibiting excessive roll as you drive through corners. Make no mistake, the CR-V is no performance vehicle, but the driving experience is pleasant enough that it won't leave you ruining a lifestyle requiring the practicality of a high-riding hatchback. Like the XL we sampled comes with the standard 190 horsepower, 179 pound-to-foot 1.5-litre Turbo 4 engine joined to a continuously variable transmission. Sport and Sport Touring trims employ Honda's 2.0-litre i4, dual-motor hybrid powertrain, good for total peak output of 204 horsepower and 247 pounds-to-foot. Our short drive route consisted of smooth roads, where the SUV proved itself a quiet cruiser with just enough power to prevent us from grimacing during passing situations. Honda says it revised the turbocharger and cylinder head to provide a broader torque band that peaks earlier than before. However, the CVT tends to need a second to spin up the engine revs when you jump on the throttle, so it pays to plan your moves accordingly. Ultimately, this new model feels no quicker than its predecessor, which is always a letdown when a carmaker replaces one of its lineup mainstays. On the other hand, when it's time to stop, the brake pedal provides surprisingly good feel and feedback rather than mimicking stepping into a bowl of oatmeal, which makes it easy for drivers to give their passengers a smooth experience. Speaking of passengers, we were impressed with the amount of rear legroom, and the rear seat's 8-way adjustable backrest recline is a great feature. Honda missed the mark, though, on the latter in terms of its controls. The only way to adjust the rake angle is via a plastic lever located in the top of the seat and over your outboard shoulder. It also does duty when you want to fold the seats flat. It makes for an awkward, uncomfortable contortion from passengers to reach the lever, especially when you're wearing your seatbelt. And because it's the only handle to pull the seat forward, we imagined it eventually breaking. Even if it's engineered so a failure never happens, such a perception is a potential stress inducer for owners. A few other criticisms: the overall dash design looks outdated, especially compared with far more modern-feeling competitors like the new for 2023 Kia Sportage. We still like the honeycomb vent pattern, and the classic two big dials instrument panel is certainly unambiguous, even if 2/3 of the panel, everything but the speedo, is digital. We can't argue with the simplicity of a 3-dial climate control system, but the infotainment screen is too small. It all manages to feel a bit old, given what some competitors are delivering inside their interiors. Our quick crawl around the 2023 Honda Salve's back seat and cargo area revealed some additional things worth noting. Space in both areas was fine, that's never been an issue for the Salve, and we doubt it ever will be. But the amount of decontenting surprised us. Previous gen Salversus had additional handles in the cargo compartment walls to lower the rear seat backs, an innovation most of its rivals copied. But it's now gone from the new Salve. There are no power jacks or USB ports for rear passengers, though the latter are present in the hybrid models. And although many SUVs now offer giant panoramic sunroofs that let bored backseaters enjoy the scenery, the Salve gets an old-fashioned single-pane sunroof, for front-seat passengers only. We'd happily trade a bit of interior space and driving appeal for more of those little extras that make day-to-day life with an SUV easier, or at least an interior that looks and feels progressive. Every 6th-generation Salve will be built in Honda's US and Canada plants. Starting prices range from $32,355 for the front-wheel drive Salve X to $39,845 for the all-wheel drive Sport Touring hybrid model. The previous value-oriented LX trim is gone. Inventory is set to arrive at dealers any day now. We'll get a longer drive soon to determine if the 2023 Honda Salve is a simple contender, impressive finalist, or unprecedented 3-time winner of our SUV of the Year competition.